males in the construction industry are 3 times more likely, the national average, to go on to complete suicide. Now, I think it's safe to assume that somebody wouldn't go on to complete suicide unless there was some sort of underlying mental health or well-being issue there. What we also know is that often people are reluctant to seek help and support, and that encouragement or that signposting to get somebody to help and support could be a game changer. It could be what really saves lives. The other statistic that I think is important is we know that of the people that complete suicide every year, we know that only around 20-25% of those people had been engaged with a mental health or wellbeing service in the year before their death. So that means 75% hadn't been. If some of those 75% had have been, might we have changed the outcome for them? And that's where I think managers, colleagues, employers, if they can be more proactive about mental health and well-being, it might be that they can get somebody to that help and support before it's too late, and hence save a life. Some of the key signs to look out for is if the things that normally help the individual get better, if that stops working, then the manager should act. Also, if the anxiety or the low mood, if that's more severe than what it normally is for that individual, then the manager should act. And also, if it's starting to have an impact on the individual's day-to-day life, then the manager should act or get some intervention in place. Because those are some of the things that might start to indicate that now the individual might need to engage certainly with a GP or with a counsellor or mental health professional. There was a recent study in 2016, and that found that for every £1 that an organisation invests in mental health and wellbeing, they get £2 back. So we can see that there's a real financial cost for the organisation as well, and a real benefit there. We see absenteeism is reduced. We know that many people go absent from work with a cold, the flu, stomach bug, and it really might be stress, but they don't want to talk about that, they don't want to disclose that, they don't want to share that. So I think if organisations can be more open and talk about these things more, they can start to see these benefits, such as the reduction in absenteeism. We see staff retention as well, so we see less staff turnover, which of course is a cost to the organisation. And generally just having a good place to work, having a place that we feel good and we feel valued in, makes us all feel a lot better, I think. So the first things employers can do is start to think about how can they reduce the stigma around mental ill health issues, and what can they do to promote positive well-being. I think the other things managers can do is start to think about how they implement personal wellbeing promotion plans for staff, so they get staff thinking about how do they keep themselves well in work, what do they do to promote positive wellbeing, and crucially, where does that member of staff go if they need to get some help and support? Do they know the avenues of support? I work with many organisations who employ employee assistance programmes and other programmes which are fantastic. The big problem is though, they forget to tell the staff how to access them, what the numbers are, how they operate, when they can access them, that sort of thing. So making sure that those messages are filtered down, I think, is also key. But some good awareness training, so managers aren't afraid to talk about mental health and wellbeing, so they've got some tools to start that conversation off. Also, so that they've got some tools to signpost onto, and some knowledge of the legislation that they need to be aware of around managing mental health and wellbeing in the workplace. I think those things are key.